Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Trio Gunners, and I'm Serge, and in this video, basically, we're just going to be talking about the pros and cons of Square Enix's new Avengers game that came out earlier this year. I know I might be kind of late on this game, but I just haven't really thought of making a video about it until a few days ago. And basically, we're going to be going over the problem with it, because it might just be one of the worst video games I've ever played. The good thing about this game, one of the only good things, is that initially, in the first maybe an hour and a half, you will have an actual good time with it. Like in this scene, or in this gameplay part, in this mission, right here, you're getting introduced to all the characters in different sections of the level on this bridge. And that's actually really cool. Like, you get to play Thor for a little bit, and he throws his hammer or whatever, and it's just really neat. And, you never had a game like this before. So the very beginning part of the game is fairly entertaining. So then you get to play as Black Widow and take on Taskmaster, which was really cool. Iron Man, the way they kind of used him in this mission was very neat. He kind of flies around and chases after people while shooting at them. Hulk does some parkour stuff, and Captain America, his fighting and the way you play him is probably the best out of all the characters in the game. But after this mission, it probably goes downhill pretty fast. Except for there's one mission where you go against Abomination, and that's probably the second best part of it. But the problem with this game is probably in my opinion, the story. The story is very boring and very short and very predictable. I think the game actually, in order to complete, I can't remember. It can't be 4. It has to be 9 hours or something. It's a very short campaign. By the time I was done with it, I was like, that's it. It maybe took me 2 days to complete. And near the late night, so I didn't even play it for all day or anything. Basically the story is that MODOK, which is this really cool comic book villain that we've seen in a couple things before. But he puts this bomb with Taskmaster on this helicarrier. Then Captain America goes in to stop it, and he dies in the process. And then for the entire game, Captain America is supposedly dead. But the predictability of it is that everyone knows that he's alive. Of course, they want to kill off the main character, and also in the main menu kind of hinted at it. There's a missing spot in the group, and it was obviously going to be him. So you find out later on he's in space because they're trying to use his blood or whatever. So you find him, you bring him back, and great, he's back. Cool. I didn't see that coming. And you take on MODOK, and you just win. But also the villains in these games is pretty bad. Pretty bad choice. Taskmaster, he was pretty cool. He's at the very beginning of the game. You don't get to see a whole lot of him though. Abomination, you get to see a whole lot of him either. But all the other bosses are pretty much just robots, either mechs or flying drones. Those are the bosses. That's what you've been waiting for. And you go against MODOK at the end, and it's not very entertaining at all. So I think they could have picked a lot more characters from the MCU comics that it's just a lot more people that you have options. And why would they pick only these characters and just replace them with robots? I just feel and Square Enix spends so long on games. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it was them, but I think that they just announced this Project Athea at one of the PlayStation 5 events. It doesn't even have a real name yet. They take forever on these games. We've been waiting on this game for 3 years, 4, ever since they teased it at E3. So you think that would be good, or at least long, and it fails on both of those. And the characters that you play, and this is what I was talking about, the Iron Man part, it's pretty cool, but they never do this again in any other mission. This is the only part you'll see this type of gameplay. And, sorry, I don't even, why? That's a cool concept, chasing the people around. You never see that. And there's also no free roam. In New York, you go from one location to another. Why wouldn't you make New York free roam? The city parts that you are in for some of the missions don't feel entertaining at all. It's you're you're so powerful, like in Hulk, he just lunges everywhere, and like there's the health bar system that they use is very I don't like it, and I see WB Montreal's Gotham Knights video game that's going to be coming out. I think they're going to use some sort of similar system. I hope not, because the way that this works in this, I don't like that type of fighting style. But so that means like there's no interesting fighting. It's just like you spam square on somebody or R2, which between like whatever character you're using, but each character is fairly boring. So like with Iron Man, he just kind of like square and R2. And then with Hulk, it's basically just square and R2, and there's no like different type of playstyles. They might be doing something different, but like it's just kind of boring. You're like the best characters are either I like Kamala, like Miss Marvel. She's pretty cool because like she, you can like elastic her fist, and like that's fairly neat. And Captain America's is definitely the best, like I said earlier, because he throws his shield everywhere. Like that was really cool, and you see that at the beginning of the game. But after that, he's dead for the entire game. So the best part about it is missing for the whole 8 hours, and so that was a dumb decision. They should have made other people's a little bit more just like decisive, or like different. I don't know if I'm using decisive in the right way. That's my bad. Yeah, so everyone just kind of feels really similar. The best thing about Black Widow is that she uses a gun, so you actually have to do some sort of skill, like aim it. But it's not like we haven't seen a gun before in video games. It's almost in every video game out there. So, in this part, he plays Hulk and he does some parkour stuff. You don't really see a whole lot of that. And the best parts about these characters that makes them interesting, you never see them again. And like they only use them for this introducing mission. And this is the mission that they showed at E3 and like was the demo. So I think like this mission was definitely one of the best in the entire game, and like that's because you haven't played something like this, like, and you're being introduced to all these new game mechanics and characters, but you just don't like. After a while, it just gets really boring and repetitive, and so like that's just a big problem. I think they try to show everybody what it could be, and then they just scrap the rest of it, and the rest of it's fairly terrible. When it comes to DLC, which, like, watch my Batman Arkham video, then, obviously don't even know if it's out yet, depending on when this releases, but, Batman Arkham Knight definitely had, like, the best DLC, but with this, I was kind of excited for their DLC, and, like, what they could do. Would they add new villains? Would, like, Loki, would they expand on the main story, like how the Batman Arkham's games did, because they gave you a whole new thing. But with this, it's just new characters that you can replay a story with, I think. Honestly, I'm not even sure. Or you can just go into this Warzone game that they have. It's like just like a separate little thing. And you kind of do like type of Destiny raids on these bases that are owned by AIM, which is Modak's like company or whatever. And it's very boring. The objectives in these missions get really like repetitious, and like it's just capture the point or destroy that and move to this long freaking elevator ride that takes you whatever place, and then you beat it, and then you come back with like another shield or like like an upgrade in whatever character you're using. But the thing with the upgrade system is that whenever you get a new shield, like a new helmet, it looks different on like the little profile picture of the item. Whenever you equip it, it'll up your stats or decrease them or do something special, but it doesn't change how you look. Like in Injustice, whenever you get a new like piece of clothing or like a weapon, it changes the way you look as well. So that adds something more to it, and it would be easy to do that. It would be so easy because there's so many variations of these characters that have been in so many different comic books that you can just take something from that, name it that, give you a spit like. So you can be this type of character that you've seen in all your comic books. You're like, wow, I really like that version of Captain America. I want to be him. But no, you have to buy all these skins, and the skins in this game are so lame. I think Hulk has the best type. All the other ones just look terrible in my opinion. Iron Man has a couple of good ones, but Hulk has one like what looks like a freaking gangster. That's pretty awesome. But most of Captain America's like he just has his shirt off, and he's like some sort of patient whenever you found him in the spaceship. Um, so like the gear system could have been a lot better. And like how I said with free roaming, why like and that still just bamboozles me. Why wouldn't you make the game free roam? Like because it's not difficult. We've seen so many free roam games with the Batman Arkham games, and the Spider-Man games, and like in Watch Dogs, and I could go on and on. Like Square Enix had such a long time to work on this. Why wouldn't they do that? So this game has a lot of problems, and even the post-credit scene, it like started. There's like hinted at sequel to it, which I that they don't like. They're probably working on something else right now, either anyway. So I definitely hope they don't. But um, and I was actually kind of excited to play Spider-Man in that type of game. You know, like it's because Sony was trying kind of doing it, so maybe it'd be similar to the way the solo game worked. But I already sold my game, so I guess I won't be doing that. So if I were you, I wouldn't buy it.